elbow just cracked. Ugh.
The light is terrible in this room. I fix. Dear God. Should have named me Grace. What is up, Internet? It is midnight in Southern California. My neighbors are starting to slam their car doors right now because Murphy's Law. We are watching a video of me updating my Battlevests. I'm pulling all the patches off of this old guy. Got an extra large jean vest to fit over this leather jacket, which is really cool. But the world is heating up and I don't need to wear a leather jacket nearly as much as I used to. So, got a couple of new vests that'll fit a little bit better. Went into the thrift store today. First one that popped out at me was that guy. Look, he already has patches on it. That's a good oh God. Oh God. What year is it? Actually, I almost like it. Like the punk aesthetic with teal. This is the first thing I actually really liked. I liked the gray color. I wanted to go with that, but it was a little bit too big. Found this guy, fit really well, but it's got this kind of silly patch on the back. Ended up going with this guy though, because it looked pretty simple to tear off. So yeah. Oh yeah, and I went on a date the other day, and my date bought me this really cute backpatch that has a nerdy little wizard on it. So that's a big motivation in getting this project going. I picked up 2 vests. The other one's a small, kind of feminine cut one, and that one is where all my dorky queer patches are gonna go. Anything that's a joke patch or something like that, or bright colors, is gonna go onto a jean vest. Anything that's cool, like a legitimate band or something, is gonna go onto this black vest. So yeah, my story is definitely that I wanted 2 vests that were gonna fit better, not that I've been spending too much time on r/Battlevests and seen how much people on the internet make fun of nerds with expressive patches on their Battlevests. I am not sensitive and I don't care what the internet thinks at all. This is purely because new vest time. Anyways, I tend to almost finish projects and then completely burn them to the ground just to start them all over again. That's just sort of the way I live my life. Judge me if you want, but that's the way it goes. This vest probably had enough room for like 5 more patches to fill in some empty spaces and it would have been totally done. And now I'm gonna have 2 vests that got all these big empty spaces in it, which is totally cool. I think it's great. This part was really tedious. Shouldn't be a shocker in the slightest. I did use a machine to put down the majority of my patches, so they're down there pretty good. The most infuriating part, if you've ever made your own patch garment, is the patches that are over pockets were such a pain in the ass to put down, and I sewed my pockets closed so many times. I went to like 3 shows with pockets sewn closed. And was so infuriated with myself the whole time because I was lacking pockets. You really do need pockets. I went to a show last week for the first time since pre-pandemic, and I thought, oh, I'll be fine. I'll just make a small wallet, and I'll have my cell phone and my chapstick, and I'm good. And I ended up tucking my wallet in my binder, like in the back of my binder, and I decided to hop in the pit because that sounded like fun. It was one of those little spinny pits, like a gentle little like whirlwind. Well, it probably doesn't even count as a pit. I'm probably using the wrong word. Go ahead and judge me. But I hopped in one of those, and then I got back to my friend and went, my wallet's gone. And I thought to myself, I'm like, I'm really glad I'm as anxious as I am because I pre-thought this out, and I took out everything except what I actually needed. I had a backup ID in there, and I had like 1 card and a little bit of cash. I didn't have a ton of stuff. Anyways, I'm turning back and I'm looking at the pit area, and I realize it illuminates like my blue wallet. All of a sudden, I saw someone turned on their cell phone light and they were holding it, and I ran over. I'm like, that's mine. The guy's like, I'm gonna trust you. And I'm like, no, look at the ID, that's me. And I'm showing him like I don't have a freaking black mask on half my face. I keep forgetting all the time. Anyways, so I'm blessed. I should go buy a lotto ticket, honestly, because I dropped my wallet in a pit at a metal show, and I got it back within 10 minutes. Thank you, Satan. My God. Okay, back to what we were talking about. So I have all these patches on my old Battlevest that I've been working on for the past maybe 4 or 5 years. And we've got bands, we've got a lot of like events that I've worked, a lot of weird, obscure things. You'll be able to see them better as we're attaching them down. The number one thing I was reluctant for, though, is what I'm doing right now. This Iron Maiden, don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone. I'll kill you if you tell anyone. This Iron Maiden backpatch is my favorite thing that I own in the whole world. It is so cool, and I'm pretty sure it's like easily 10 years older than I am. And this vest was the first. See, here I am. I'm upset because I'm ruining my backpatch. It's okay, but the value of my patch has been decreased because I went and I messed up that side seam around the edges. It doesn't matter. I'm never going to sell it. I love it so much. I've had it since I was like 17 years old. This vest was the first time I ever put it down, and like the dust from Tutankhamun's grave was coming up out of it as I was trying to pull it out. So I probably spent 45 minutes pulling off this Number of the Beast backpatch. I'm so extra. Oh, how did I not start a YouTube vlog earlier? My God. So, we've got 3 piles going on right now. We've got the band patches on the left, we've got the semi-metal related stuff in the middle, and then we've got the stuff that would make Reddit roll their eyes at me stuff on the right. And we spent the afternoon pulling patches off a vest, because I'm fairly certain there were more important things I should have been doing that I was straight up procrastinating. And yes, that was a Bad Dragon patch, which is hilarious that I own that. It's the only Bad Dragon thing that I own. But I love how uncomfortable it makes people. And if you don't know what Bad Dragon is, don't worry about it. It's fine. You don't need to know. If you know, you know. And if you don't know, you don't need to look it up. Band patches. I've got this. There's a little green and yellow patch that you can't see anymore that's from 1975. That's like a bicycle up and down the West Coast patch that my grandfather did. It's another really cool old patch that I should be respecting, but instead I'm attaching to Thrift Store materials. I'm curious if there's like a word in any language for this phenomenon. I have a habit of buying, like, let's say I'll buy a cheap piece of IKEA furniture, $25-30, a little coffee table. And then I start collecting art stickers, and like nice art stickers, because they're going to go on a coffee table and I'm going to see them a lot. You don't want to put your good stickers on a stupid water bottle. You might throw that away. But you'll put all your cool stickers you want to look at on a coffee table. And then inevitably, I've put like $100 of stickers onto a $30 coffee table. Or here I'm putting $75 worth of patches onto a $10 thrift store vest. Something doesn't add up here, but this is where my priorities lie. I don't know if that's a sign of some sort of mental illness or if it's just where you allocate your funds. Oh boy, I decided to abandon a few patches on that blue vest, primarily ones I had handmade. When I first started that vest, they were all handmade patches, and I skipped pulling off the ones that were redundant. I made a giant Necrogoblicon upper back patch, and now I have a proper band merch one, and I had an Iron Maiden. No, I'm keeping my Iron Maiden redundant patch because it's cool, but I also dropped an In Flames patch, I think, and some like Velcro. Just, I'm spending as little time on this project as possible. At this point, I'm placing all my Queer Kid patches all over the place. I've got some Labyrinth of Jareth. I've got some stuff I picked up at Monsterpalooza. A lot of stuff from thrift stores, from like Star Wars movie premieres. Again, very much stuff that Reddit would roll their eyes at. So This is the vest I'll wear with my rainbow shoelaces. I just stuck everything down with safety pins, and then I ran out of safety pins, as one will do. And I don't like the way most of these are laid out, so we're going to come back to this project in the future. As much as I love nerdy looking patches, I wish I could also love enamel pins, but as you may have noticed, I have too much hair, and they fight. I tried to try this vest on with all the safety pins in it, with all my hair, and that was a mistake. You will see later. Anyways, here we're going to lay out some of the vest that matters, because this is the one that is made to be judged when you're standing in queue for a show. This is where everyone can read my patches and what's strange is people will like gatekeep the t-shirts I wear, but it's like if you put the effort into a vest or something, I've never really had anybody question it. I've had people point out my joke patches on that old vest. I had like a Disneyland one over my heart, and sometimes people, some like older metalheads would be like, oh, I like your Disneyland patch, and I think it's because they actually like recognized it. I believe that one's from the 70s or something like that. I wore it because I did my time at Disneyland for 2.5 years, but I can't believe how cool I am. Look, I have a black battle vest, like a real cool person. Some of my handmade patches are, I don't think the 68 have patches. They should. Everybody should have patches. Anyways, here's my little tiny girly patch and my hair catching in it. It was painful. I'm glad I zoomed up that video so I didn't have to relive it. It's so short. It's like a little stripper vest, and this one's extra long. Ah, yes, the two genders. Battle vests and queer vests. And then for fun, you get to see my favorite, well, a blur of it. This is my bean vest. And by bean, I mean coffee bean. I already have the queer vest. I really enjoyed going on road trips to different coffee roasters. And so when I go to one that's like 10 out of 10, I make a patch. I make a patch for them. I make my very own patch, as you have seen. I hand make some patches. And so that one is, I'll make another video in the future about how I hand make patches, and I'll show you those more specifically on there. My favorite one is a Ziltoid patch that I made. It's very extra. But yes, that one looks like a battle vest from far away, but it's actually coffee roasters. That is not cool. Do not make a fad out of this. This is very lame. So here we go. My very first battle vest, that was where half of my patches, especially my joke patches, came from. I even have like a World of Warcraft patch on my joke vest that I was really reluctant to, because I haven't played WoW in years now. But I have an Alliance patch. Of course it's Alliance. What? Do you think I'm cool? No. You think I'm cool. But no one thinks I'm actually cool. Anyway, my very first battle quote-unquote vest was a blazer, also from a thrift store, that I covered in joke patches. So, started that when I was probably 15. Now we're here. I'm very hopeful for this vest to work out. Buying a battle vest is very much like buying a purse, if you have experience with that. Not only does it have to look to the aesthetic that you are expressing to those around you, but it has to have the adequate number of pockets, as well as the sizing of pockets. This black vest is cut for women, so the chest pockets are fake, and that kind of pisses me off, but I also realize it's going to be a lot easier to attach patches down to the chest that way, so pick and choose my battles there. The hand pockets are sewn down inside, so I kind of have a second pocket that maybe a cell phone could slide into, but they are open at the corners, so small things could slide out. I couldn't drop a guitar pick in there, say, and not risk losing it. Oh, did you catch that? Hang on. It's just been one of those months. Like, I'm not even mad at this point. I just knew it was going to slow down the project. The only reason it's frustrating to spill all of your pins is because all of your patches are being held down with pins. So yeah, I tried to transfer my little container of pins over to the other side of my machine. I was concerned about spilling them on the floor by brushing them with this vest. But I bumped them into my sewing machine and I spilled them everywhere. So I ended up... But you know what I did? Life gave me lemons and I made lemonade. I like to take pictures of things. Look at me being extra. I gotta take a cell phone picture. But then I turn off this camera so that I can clean up the pins. But I decide to pull out my big camera, my DSLR, and take a couple snapshots. And you know what? I got a couple really cool shots of how the pins fell into the carpet. So after that, I went outside and I smoked about 3 trees, and then we came back at it. And I'm happy I ran out of thread there because stuff kept going wrong. My bobbin ran out. Bobbins run out. This happens. Started refilling my bobbin. I lost my mind there because the bobbin didn't feel right. Doesn't matter. We're all here for a good time. It's just a nice little Sunday. We're just doing a fun little project. There's no rush. This ain't no commission. Now the backs are falling out of my pins. All the things are going wrong, but I don't think I actually got mad today, which is nice. Really thought this was going to be a 3-hour project, but I got one of the vests knocked out, which feels good. When I go to Avatar in, oh my god, 11 days? 10 days? 10 days. 10 more sleeps until I can see Avatar. Hail the apocalypse. I will have a nice new vest to wear. I will have nice pockets that are not girl jeans that my crap falls out of. And I will be able to rep my favorite bands, which is nice. Instead of just wearing one t-shirt, I can have like all 12 of my top favorite bands on display, and people will go, oh, Swedish Melodeath, I see. But the obscure, not the mainstream. You have an Avatar patch, but not a Ghost patch. I see you. Anyway, I always gotta put Necro Red on front, because I love gushing about Necro. I gush so much about Necro that Necro actually hates me. They do, and that's okay. Fans are creepy sometimes. That's what you guys get for being famous and awesome. You get creepy fans, so... Pardon me while I hydrate, before I talk more into my giant black lollipop. So, I spilled my pins everywhere. I put the lid on that pin container after closing them up, and I grabbed one of my voodoo dolls as a push pin. Much safer, for me at least. And yes, I'm going to be walking very gingerly on my floor around here, knowing that I spilled those pins everywhere. But if you've seen any other videos on this YouTube page before, you will know stabbing myself with needles is just kind of my thing. Just kind of a masochist like that. The year 2021, year of our Lord, is the year of needles for me. Just so much needleage. Anyways, let's start talking about patches now that you can actually see them a little bit. I have a strapping young lad patch right next to a Devin Townsend patch. Is that a faux pas? I don't know. Maybe somebody will tell me. We'll see. Now that I'm out in the real world and people will be able to see my patches again. Strapping Young Lad, in case you don't know, is a Canadian extreme thrash metal band that was out in like the 90s, early 2000s that Devin Townsend fronted. Devin Townsend now is more of a prog rock artist. He has done Empath, and if you've ever talked to me in person, you already know everything about Empath. This patch is Alien Weaponry. They're from New Zealand. They're a bunch of young guys, and they're really, really cool. My buddy Jordan took me to see them at Affliction one time, and Ginger played too. They were pretty cool, but I was just really thrilled to see Alien Weaponry because I really, really dig world metal that reflects like its home culture. I have another patch on here I have is the Who, H-U, Who. That was the last show I saw before the pandemic hit. I saw them at the Glass House in Pomona. Oh, Power Glove. You know who the Who is. They went viral. Power Glove's really cool. They do like video game covers. I was going to a Dread Crew of Oddwood show, and then they were playing, and they sounded bomb live. They sounded so good. There was my voodoo doll. I'm talking about my music, so I'm getting excited. More Swedish Melodeath. I did end up putting a couple joke patches on here. This one is not a band patch. It says Death Smiles at Us All. Deal with it. You can assume that that's a hardcore... Oh crap, that sounds like a hardcore band, doesn't it? Someone's gonna be looking at my vest and they're gonna go Google that. Oh no. Oh no. I'm at worst a power metal nerd, but I'm not. I was never a scene kid. I never went through that phase, okay? I never went through that phase. This patch makes me a poser. This is Wizard Throne. I've never seen them live, and that's because they haven't done a live show yet. This is my chaos patch because I am chaos. Oh, and my cattle decap. I handmade my cattle decap. If you haven't heard of cattle decapitation, you don't listen to metal, because their song Bring Back the Plague definitely went viral again at the beginning of the pandemic. I think a lot of us felt almost guilty for how much we were singing that song in like 2019. And then it actually happened. Do you remember the beginning of the pandemic? Like, it's not that things made sense then, but I think we still had the tutorial on in this life game that we're playing. And now we're like level 1 noobs left to our own devices. And there's a paywall. And let's talk about patches. This is Queensryche. It's from the Operation Mindcrime album. I saw them in 2007, 2008, and they were amazing. Yes, I have seen Slayer. I saw them at the Irvine Spectrum in 2008, and that was amazing. It was short because it's Slayer and they're thrash and they've been doing this for a long time and I still appreciate them. That was a really weird show because it was Slayer and Marilyn Manson on tour together. So like 10% of the audience was like industrial goth kids, and then everybody else was just like, oh, Slayer! And as soon as Slayer was done, you know, they did maybe a 35-40 minute long set. Everybody just cleared the hell out, and like all the goth kids just flooded forward to see Manson, and just like all the metalheads were leaving. I saw somebody with a t-shirt that had a swastika on it, and I thought to myself, ooh, that's uncomfortable. But the man was by himself, and he was quickly surrounded by people who were not happy with his t-shirt choice that day. And that was very satisfying. And it was in that moment I decided that metal shows were good places. You know, there are good people and there are bad people at metal shows, but more often than not, metalheads are nice and sensitive people, and it's a good place. Like I already told you, somebody picked up my cell phone wallet when I dropped it at a show. So I don't know, man. Metalheads are overall good people. I'd be careful of the non-metalheads at shows. That's what I'd be careful of. No, don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. Look, a skeleton hand. Isn't that cute? Isn't that just adorable? Isn't that the cutest thing you've ever seen in your life? Power Glove. I don't know who's... Can someone tell me what that pirate is from? My friend Paul gave me that patch, and it's very cool, and I like it a lot, but I'm curious if it's like a sports logo or if it's literally just a pirate. I hope it's just a pirate. Right now I'm going in, I'm hand sewing down the little bit of patches that are over pockets, stabbing the hell out of my fingers in the process. I think I only stabbed myself 10 times sewing all these patches down, which is actually really great for how much I was like flying through this project. Cannot remember what that patch with the noose says. Something like loner or sad boy, because of course it would. Of course it would. But yes, I feel like asking really annoying YouTuber type questions. My intention is like to hear feedback and to be communicating with the people who might be enjoying this video, but it ends up sounding like I'm fishing for interaction with my content. And it's such a fine line to be self-conscious of. I just noticed that I did half of this black and white and half of this colorful. That was not intentional. Thank you, What the? Oh, is that going to weird me out now? Literally, they're all black and white patches on this side of this vest. And I'm pretty sure they're all color and silver on the opposite side. Okay. Well, that's a good representation of my personality, I think. So this is fine. I put my thimble away, which was a great idea, and then I set up this camera directly in front of the drawer where the thimble was, and decided it was too much effort to move the camera to get the thimble, so injured myself quite a bit, stubbornly, trying to get this very last patch down. What How am I alive? How do I ever get anything done? Alright, so the actual Battlevest is, I wouldn't say done, but you know, this is version 3.0 and it's ready to go. If you happen to be going to the Going Hunting Avatar Tour in Los Angeles, October 6th at the Wiltern, look for this vest and say, peach pizza. Yeah, peach pizza. And I'll look at you and be like, what the hell is wrong with that person? Because I won't remember that that's what I said at the end of this video. It's now 1 in the morning and I've been talking to myself for a really long time. So, but maybe you'll see me there. Or at another, you know, Melodeath show sometimes. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. And I'll see you when I have another stick and poke video ready. Bye-bye.